Adding transition in DaVinci Resolve can be complicated and comes with certain limitations. On top of that, finding the perfect transition for your project can be tough due to the limited assets available in DaVinci. To solve these issues, I present to you my new product, Transitions Utility. It's super easy to use because everything is automated with expressions and code. Before we dive into the video, I want to let you know that there is a free version of Transition Utility that you can use right now. So let's begin. Features.
Overlay tab.
The Transition Utility includes 23 of the coolest looking overlays you can add in your project. So we have Film Flash 1, Film Flash 2, Film Flash 3, Film Burn, Cyber Glitch, Neon Glitch, Comic 1, Comic 2, Comic 3, TV Grain, TV On Off, No Signal, Color Bars, Liquid Paint 1, Liquid Paint 2, Line Slide, Box Light, Fire, Camera, Energy Lines, and Smoke, Paper Cut 1 and Paper Cut 2. All overlays are in 2K resolution and fully customizable because I have included all the necessary tools so you can easily achieve your desired look.
Style tab.
Now for the Style tab, we have 18 different presets to choose from. And like every feature in Transition Utility, you can combine tools that are grouped. For example, if I want, I can combine Glitch with Shake and with any of the creative looks. Also, we can use them independently because I have added off buttons in each of them. Here's a quick preview of all the presets we have got. Glitch 1, Glitch 2, Glitch 3, and Glitch 4. Shake. And for the creative look, we have Chromatic Aberration, Shallow Glow, Defocus Gamma, Invert Color, Color Correction or CC, SD Tech, Vignette, and Gradient Mapper. Another great thing to mention, all the tools in the Transition Utility are modifiable. For example, if the glow effect doesn't look quite right, or if I want to make it a little bit different, I can hop into Fusion page and adjust its parameters there.
Animation tab.
Now for the Animation tab, we have got both classic and some of my personal favorite transition tools. For starters, we have all sides of slides, like right slide, left slide, up slide, down slide, and random slide. Now you might be wondering, what's a random slide? Well, let's just say this is something fun. If I turn it on and head to the Fusion page, I can press random slide X or Y and randomize the threshold of the slide power. Finally, the Zoom tab. Remember I mentioned my favorite tools earlier? This is it. We've got 5 different types of zoom tools. Passive zoom, smooth zoom, bounce zoom, exponential zoom, and random zoom. I like them because how good looking they are, and if I just turn on motion blur, it just makes it 10 times better. Each of the zoom gives a professional touch to your transitions, and as always we can modify the parameters however we like.
How to use Transition Utility.
First, we obviously need to download and install Transition Utility before we can use it. I have already downloaded the TRFX file, and if I just double click it, it will open DaVinci and prompt you to install it. To use the Transition Utility, first head to the Effect tab and search for Transition Utility, or you can go to the Generators and Annihilator and it should be there. Before we dive in, let me explain how to set it up for perfect results. First, we need to decide how long we want the transition to be. For example, I'm choosing 2 seconds here. After setting transition length, the next step is adjust its placement. It's simple, just make sure the midpoint of the transition line cut between the 2 clips. You can set it up manually, but we also have a button called Auto Middle Point. If I click it, it automatically moves the playhead to the middle of the transition. Now I'll just add a marker to make it more convenient to use. Remember, there is some limitation of using this button. So the first limitation is that playhead must be around the same place where the transition is. And the second limitation is that transition should be on the top of the track that you have in your timeline. Okay, so for me, I'm going to place it right here and we are good to go. Now, as you can see, if I tweak any of the tools, they all work perfectly.
Null Mode.
Normally, we can combine different groups and tabs, then tweak additional parameters in the Fusion page to create a pro-looking transition. But we can go even further thanks to a feature in transition utility called Null Mode. Its functionality is the same as Effector's Null Mode, but for those who aren't familiar, let me explain real quick. In default mode, transition utility takes the clips underneath it as input, so all the tools are applied to those clips. But in Null Mode, it takes the overlay within in transition utility as input. This means if I use any tools, they'll be applied only to the overlay and completely ignore the clips beneath it. And that's why using Null Mode, we can create outputs that aren't possible in default mode. So let me show you an example to make it clearer. First, I'll choose the Comic Look 2 overlay, size it down a bit, and set the edges to mirror under the merge section to fill up any blank spaces. Up to this point, everything can be done in default mode. But now, this is where Null Mode truly shines. If I go to the Styles tab and select any of the tools, you'll see the magic is happening. For instance, I'll select Shallow Glow from here, then hop into Fusion and tweak the parameters a bit. You can see this is already looking so much better. Also, same as the default mode, we can combine zoom, slide from the animation tab. Remember that this is just an example, but just like Effector, you can create an infinite number of variations. You just need to experiment with it to get that pro-looking transition of your choice. If you want to give it a try, go ahead. I have a light version available and it's completely free without any restriction. That's all for today. I just want to thank Shark and X Session for helping me with this project. Without them, it might never have been made.
Also, we're hosting a huge giveaway on our Discord servers, so join if you want to participate. More about it in the description.